Do you speak any foreign languages?
No, I wish.
Did you take any language classes in high school or
Spanish, yeah.
Spanish?
Yeah.
So you say un pequeño?
Or what?
Like I'm not downloading
a little bit of
Duolingo.
Spanish.
This is
Oh, yeah.
what you've.
Yeah,
This is
no,
the
I'm not.
progress?
I am not the poster
Okay,
child.
got it.
First of all, I was taking it really seriously when we were going to France. I'm like, I'm going to learn French.
Yep.
And I did learn French, but then I discovered chess, and now I don't learn anything else.
You learned
Chess is more fun.
French?
I learned get around Paris French.
Okay, yeah.
Like for 3 days.
Like probably what you can pick
Okay.
up just by being there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like I still would try it, and the waiter would just speak to me in English.
Yeah. I
They
noticed that
immediately
too.
pick up on your accent.
Yeah. All you really need to know is like, please, thank you, hello, goodbye.
Yeah.
In
And
each
just like
language.
actually say these things.
Yeah.
Our tour guide was saying that like people don't, the Americans especially, are not particularly pleasant. There aren't a lot of pleasantries. They don't, these acts of kindness go a long way, in that culture.
Yeah, that's fair. We can be fairly abrupt.
Yeah.
So that's not really their culture at all.
No. But so you took 4 years of Spanish and you don't know any Spanish.
No, but in high school we went to Puerto Rico as like a family trip, and everything's in Spanish, like all the signage and stuff. Like we rented a car, and I could like figure things out while I was in that Spanish class. Now, if I were to go back, no.
Yeah.
So I could like read a menu, do those things,
Yeah.
but like now I don't know any of that.
We have a friend, Aaron.
Yeah.
Did he tell you about his nanny?
No.
So he has a kid, and maybe he has two now. I can't remember.
I think they have two, yeah.
Two, yeah. But he has a nanny that is Spanish, and she speaks to
Is
the
she
kids.
literally Spanish or
She is literally,
Okay.
yeah, Spanish, from what I understand. And she speaks to the kids in Spanish, and now they're like 6 or 7 or however old
yeah.
they are,
Yeah.
and they can almost speak fluid Spanish.
Yeah. We have some clients down in Dallas who, when I meet with them, occasionally I'll meet with our client and her children will come on to the screen because that happens a lot, especially during during COVID. And she'll just like, I didn't know she spoke Spanish. And then one time she started just speaking perfect Spanish to her child in our meeting. And then the kid was replying in Spanish. He was like 4 or something like that. And I was like, first of all, I didn't know you were bilingual, but like now your kid is too, because it's just automatic.
And it's very easy to learn when you're a child.
Yeah.
Because you don't know anything else.
Right.
You haven't like picked up on accents or like
Yeah.
weird things with the English language.
Yeah, because you're learning English.
Exactly.
But I know there's people that send their kids to daycare in like a Spanish-speaking daycare
Oh, yeah.
or
Yeah.
like a Spanish-speaking kindergarten, and then they come home and basically learn English as like they're learning it both, but the parents are teaching English and they're going to school and learning fully in a different language.
I would want my kid to know, what language would I want them to know? I know French decently, and I wouldn't want them to know that.
Yeah, it's not the most
I feel
useful.
like Spanish is
No.
like,
Spanish is a good one.
because you can then kind of pick up like Portuguese.
There's a lot of Asian languages like Chinese, Japanese, or
Yeah.
Mandarin.
No, those are all different.
Well, yeah, there's different dialects.
Yeah.
But there's like Mandarin, there's, Japanese is its own language.
There's Mandarin. There's in China. There's
In
Mandarin,
China, there's,
Cantonese, and like a
there's
dozen
like a few other ones.
When we were talking to our friend in New York, when we went down there, earlier this, I guess it was, God, when was that? Man, this year's flying by.
Was that April?
It was like
It
6
was
months
the
ago,
spring,
something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, we've got this, Mandarin prospect. And he's like, dude, I don't speak Mandarin. I'm like, I thought I heard you. And he's like, I speak Cantonese.
Yeah.
There's like a dozen. You're an idiot. And I'm like, oh, I didn't.
How could you possibly know that?
Yeah. Well, I knew that there was Mandarin and Cantonese, and I was just forgetting that. But
I didn't know
I didn't
that.
know that there were so many different languages in that one country.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, even in like there's different dialects of the existing languages in not just China, but many other parts of the world.
Do you have an accent?
Just in general? What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Do you have
Like
an accent?
American accent?
Yeah. Oh,
Definitely.
no. Like, do you have an American? See, if I have an accent, but I didn't know I have an accent. But there's certain things that I say certain ways that tell people what part of the country I'm from.
When I was
Yeah.
in Buffalo, people always said I had an accent.
Right. And that was just 5 hours from home or whatever.
Right. That's true. But I mean, people speak English very differently in our own country.
Mm-hmm.
When I say the word lawn, what do you think I'm referring to?
Mowing the lawn.
Mowing the lawn. If I say this episode is running long, it sounds the same. And I can't, like, I have to put real emphasis on that G. I can't hit it naturally. It's like rolling R's in Spanish.
I can hear
can't
it
do.
when you say it.
You can?
Yeah.
You're so kind to me. My wife will never say that.
I don't know. Maybe we're on the same wavelength. It's
I wouldn't
telepathy.
notice it. My roommates, or my old roommates, college roommates, are from Rhode Island, and they would always say that I say room so crazy.
Well, you do say room crazy.
Rum.
You say it like rum, like it's where's the rum?
Yeah. Do you notice that though?
I
No.
did when you just said it.
Rum,
What's wrong with rum?
right? And I'm like, I don't know, and they were like, it's not. It's I don't even know
It's
how the
room.
other way to say it.
Room, like it's roomy in here. Say
No, like this is a room.
yes. This is a room.
We were watching
What are you
MasterChef.
saying?
I
We're
don't
not
know.
saying
I
it
don't.
differently.
I honestly
We are.
don't
It
know.
does. There's a subtle difference.
We'll pick it up on the mics.
Yeah.
We were watching MasterChef, and just like Gordon Ramsay always says, like basil
Oh yeah.
and aluminium.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well,
yes.
You know,
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
pronunciation for everything is slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a totally English is a different language.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome to the Compound Growth Podcast with Colin and Wheeler, where we talk all things growth, from financial growth to career growth, personal development to societal progress. We explore how each layer builds on the next, compounding over time to shape who we become. Each week, we break down complex ideas and emerging trends into clear, actionable insights. Because growth isn't just about numbers, it's about understanding the world and our place in it. The information in this material is for general information only, and is not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Investment advice offered through Integrated Partners, doing business as Ko-Fi Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor. Integrated Partners does not provide legal, tax, mortgage, advice, or services. Please consult your legal tax advisor regarding your specific situation. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. The economic forecasts set forth in this material may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that the strategies promoted will be successful. All right. What is our exciting topic today, Colin? I'm bringing this one to the table. Why am I even asking you?
Well, we originally were going to talk about insurance and annuities.
And
then
Tori
we
said
decided,
you.
and then
Colin
we
literally
decided,
sat down and goes, "Do you have any idea what we're talking about today?"
Just now?
Yeah, right before we
And then
I
started.
told him
said-
twice yesterday.
I know what it is.
Colin.
And
We wanted
then
to
I
meet.
said we shouldn't do insurance and annuities
It's true.
because
Boring.
it is boring and no one wants to sit here and listen to a podcast about insurance and annuities.
Yeah.
Unless maybe you're being pitched an insurance or annuity product.
Even then, you don't want to listen to it.
You don't want to know.
No one ever wants to be pitched,
No.
right? Like once you feel like you're being pitched, to me, that's a complete turn off. Like
Yeah.
I'm not interested in anything you're saying from now on.
I don't know. Sometimes when I'm at a restaurant and they pitch me a special,
Of course.
it does sound pretty
Of course.
good.
You're just like my mom.
Okay. Yeah. There's a restaurant that Jess and I like to go to. It's called the Downtown Grocery, I think. And it's in
Didn't we go there?
Ludlow, Vermont. So no, it's not a place we've been yet. It's one I've told you about before because
Okay,
it's really,
got it.
really good. And it's just a husband and wife, and they run this restaurant, just the two of them.
Okay.
Right? She's front of house, he's back of house. And they will have like, I don't know, 6 or 8 tables sat a night, right? And every day the menu is different because it's a small shop. So it's like whatever's available. And when you walk in there, they have the chalkboard thing where the menu is on there. But then when you sit down, she will pitch you the diatribe of the menu. It's I love this woman. She's great. But like she gets exhausted explaining the menu. She runs out of breath because she's also running around the restaurant, like taking care of everybody. And so then she gets to the table and she says everything that like there's 4 different dishes for your mains. And like, here's how we cook all of these things. And she does a great job explaining it. It sounds awesome. But it's just a lot, and she's out
It
of
is a
breath,
lot.
and I just want her to calm down and tell her that I can read the chalkboard. And it doesn't say like
Have
a
you considered
lovely.
a menu?
She throws color on it. Like she makes it sound great, but
Yeah.
I can't focus on that because I'm focused on how hard she's working.
That's great. Anyway, not insurance today.
No insurance. We're not pitching insurance. We never pitch insurance.
No, we don't.
We will explain the need for insurance sometimes, but we will not
We try not to pitch anything.
pitch insurance.
Yes. Okay, so the topic.
The topic today, well, here's what happened. I have a friend, and her mom passed away suddenly.
Yeah.
And that always sucks on so many levels. And one of those levels can frequently be financially if they leave a mess behind.
Mhm.
And when it's sudden, there's frequently a mess behind because they weren't like, when you know that you have 2 years left to live, you're going to make some decisions and go through some stuff. Or if you're just getting older, my mom is getting older, so we're going through and trying to figure things out. That neither of those situations came to pass for her, so she left a mess behind.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting mess because she was on her second marriage, so it was a blended family, right? So she has, I think, 3 kids of her own, and then there were 3 kids that her second husband brought to the table.
Mm.
Her second husband passed first. She inherited his assets, mostly IRAs got combined, and a non-qualified account, but it was very, very small. So she has most of her wealth tied up into a retirement account where she never made like an effort or had a chance necessarily. It's actually worse than this, but her IRA was never updated with the beneficiaries. So the children of her second husband are not the beneficiaries on any of the assets that the two of them had together.
Ooh.
And that was never the intention of anybody, right? So now you're in the situation, Tori, where if you inherit money and you want to give me a part of it, if it's coming from an IRA, in order for you to do that, you would have to take out a big distribution, pay the taxes on it, and then give it to me as a gift, and then follow the rules along the way. And I'm just getting your nice, generous after-tax gift.
Mhm.
but
You don't have to give anything.
You don't have to do anything. That's another part of it. So it's a big mess. right?
Yeah.
And the advisor, unfortunately, was kind of, it sounds like, holding this account hostage. So my friend and her mom said, we want to update the beneficiaries. We want to make a trust a beneficiary, which I don't love necessarily for an IRA, but
In this case, it would probably be
it would have been better.
easier. Yeah.
And so they sent the trust and they said, this is what we want to do. And nothing ever happened. They never heard anything back. Apparently, the advisor called the mom and tried to get her to come into the meeting. And he said that she needed to come in to update the beneficiaries, which we know is not true
Mhm.
because that can be done online,
Electronically.
virtually, electronically. This is the world we're living in now, guys.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like he was waiting to get her in front of him in order to update this account with the beneficiaries. And that never happened. So the beneficiaries never get updated.
So now it's a complete mess.
Complete mess. And now lawyers are getting involved.
Is there turmoil amongst the family?
What's interesting is I don't think there's basically, my friend is the one who's kind of in charge of this whole situation, and she wants to do right by everybody. I don't think it's so early on, because this just happened, that nobody's given her grief. But I've seen how money can like tear families apart and create
Definitely.
rifts, etc. And you want to get ahead of it. And she's being very proactive, my friend, in trying to get ahead of it. But she's been handed basically a big bag of shit. And
Yeah.
it sucks. I mean, and theoretically, she's been inherited an inheritance too. But she says she doesn't care about the money. And I think genuinely the money is not the most important thing to her. It will make a difference in her life, right? But in the meantime, she wants to do right by everybody else.
So, when it comes to this particular setup, how many firms are involved?
Just one.
Okay, so it is the same
It
firm.
is just one firm that we are very familiar with.
Ah, that firm.
with
Okay.
people that we know.
Okay, got it. I see. So that is not great because most of the time when it comes to tricky estate settlements, the big thing that I see that usually goes wrong, and we're going to be talking about a case after this with the same thing, is when someone passes away, they have their assets scattered
Yeah.
across multiple banks, multiple firms, multiple ownership structures. And the thing is, I mean, listen, if you're going to pass away with assets and leave beneficiaries money, that's fantastic. You're in a good position. But if it's not organized and if you don't have your ducks in a row, that's not necessarily helping you, but it's screwing the next people in line.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what's really tough is when you it's not selfish. Nobody wants to deal with this stuff. This is
No.
not fun, like to plan for your demise, right? But at the same time, it's what's that called when you're doing something for somebody else? It's altruistic.
Yes.
You're being altruistic for the people that
Good
you
word.
care about. Thank you. It's my $2 word today.
Duolingo?
I'm learning English.
Yeah, learning English.
But you want to take care of the people that are left, right? And planning and making sure that there isn't a mess left for them when they're already grieving is a big deal.
I know if I was to get hit by a bus today, our stuff would be set up in a way where it would be fairly easy, but it wouldn't be perfect for Kaylee.
Yeah.
I know we don't have everything buttoned up as well as it could be. And I'm a financial planner, and I know that. It's amazing to me that you hire someone for advice, or you hire a group or a firm and everything. And the amount of times we see accounts with no beneficiary designations listed on them, or beneficiary designations of exes listed on them that are no longer in the picture, or beneficiary designations of people who have passed away, beneficiary designations that don't make any sense whatsoever. And it's so common. It's actually a little disturbing. I think so many people focus on the assets that they forget about everything else that comes along with the management of it. And when I say management, I mean, what is this actually going to do for the next generation? How is it going to pass?
Yeah.
Because you have to have that as some sort of goal or something in mind.
I think it's when you're really intentional like that, you're like optimizing the situation. You're trying to make it as good as possible. You know, it's like 3 derivatives away from just making sure it's not a disaster.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, we had, unfortunately, we had a client whose husband passed away, and it took us over a year to get all of the assets settled because they were in his individual name at, I'll say, an individually held stock company that everybody probably knows from the 80s and 90s. And he had 3 different accounts with them. Yeah. He had accounts with 2 different firms whose financial advisors had retired. He had several other accounts with no beneficiary designation listed on them. He had annuities, insurance, and it took literally a year to get everything settled. And that was a really tough thing for the spouse.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is it's funny that you bring up that your situation with you and Kaylee, because I realized last night how poor my communication has been with Jess. And it's because I'm a bad communicator. And Jess is like, well, you communicate all day through like newsletters and podcasts and talking to clients, and like you don't communicate to me. And I'm like, guilty. I do not, because I get home
and you're exhausted.
I'm exhausted, and that's not fair to her.
No.
And if Jess is my VIP client, I'm doing a pretty bad job as her advisor right now. And I know things are set up so that she will be okay. I also know that I have you, and unless we die in a plane crash together, like, you know what my intentions are, etc. Right. And even if something does happen to us, Tori has our client notes, and Tori, you're responsible for my family.
Oh, God.
We'll send you an email with what to do later.
No, it's all documented in our CRM.
That's true.
Well, it used to be. We changed our CRM. Oh, no.
It's actually not documented anymore.
Tori, make a note.
Thank God we're talking about this.
I've realized we have a friend who they wanted to do, is one of our daughter's best friends. They wanted to do a basement renovation for like 5 or 6 years. They were planning on doing this basement renovation. At one point, it was pre-COVID, and they're like, we should renovate our basement. And then they're like, nah, let's just move. We're going to outgrow this house. And then COVID happened, and they refinanced. And now they're never leaving. still haven't renovated or they still didn't get around to renovating their basement. Her husband's a contractor. And this frequently happens with contractors. They like are so exhausted working on other people's stuff that they don't take care of their stuff at home.
What's that saying? The cobbler's kids go unshoothed or
Yes,
something like
that's
that?
exactly it. $5 phrase.
Yeah.
And
Quote.
it's quote. So I feel like that's what happens a lot with us as well. And it's obviously unfair to the people we care about the most.
It is. Well, growing up, and I don't know if you guys ever had this, but my dad used to always say to us, you know, the estate plan's in the basement in this file. And he always would say that. And I'm like, I don't know what box you're talking about. And it's like, I remember my dad pulled it out one day when we were moving. This was probably 9-10 years ago. And it was literally like this box that looked like 4 Bibles had been stacked on top of each other with like directions. And I'm like, what do you expect me to do? Like sit down for 4 weeks to decipher what is going on in here?
Yeah.
And all we really needed was a letter with some beneficiary designations. Sometimes things get really complicated. And my whole point is whenever we sit down with clients, it's about simplifying the estate planning process. What do you exactly want to happen when you die? And then what's the easiest way of accomplishing that specific goal? Most of the time, you don't need fancy trust structures. Most of the time, you don't need fancy things to happen to make it work. And unfortunately, I think that is pitched to a lot of clients, some really fancy things. And most of the time, simple is effective.
I agree with you. I think what's tough is you need to have a simple plan. That's actually a good movie. You ever see that movie, Simple Plan?
I've seen A Simple Favor.
Simple Plan. I think it's A Simple Favor is like the
Blake Lively.
Yeah. Simple Plan was like a '90s movie. I think it was. Anyways, it's a plan that obviously turns out not to be so simple.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it Billy Bob Thornton?
As if I know who Billy Bob Thornton is.
You don't know Billy Bob Thornton?
No.
Do you know who Dave Matthews is?
Yeah.
Okay.
The band?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you compare Billy Bob Thornton and Dave
Because Kaylee didn't know Dave Matthews.
I went to a Dave Matthews concert.
Okay, well, there you go.
Tori's major points.
Yes.
Anyways, it's a thriller crime.
Yes, crime thriller.
About estate planning?
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton.
See, I nailed it.
See. Okay.
Anyways, no.
Thriller
That would be
about estate planning.
good.
That's the book you should write. An action movie.
Tori, what are you
settling
learning
an
in
estate
this?
plan?
Looks like Lost.
So it's similar except for it's a movie and there's no smoke monsters and it buttons up nicely. So it's actually not similar to Lost at all.
Right. Just about a plane crash.
There's a plane crash and there's some money and a simple plan is put together on what to do with this money by the 3 people that are involved in the situation, I think, if I'm remembering this correctly. And then, of course, they all betray each other or start worrying about how they're going to be betrayed by somebody else and a simple plan falls apart.
Oh.
Okay. So
sounds good.
It's a good movie. Back to the estate planning thing. A simple plan is the basis, right? I say this word or this phrase, table stakes, a lot lately. I find myself saying that a lot. And it should be a fail-safe. All else fails, sudden death, etc. Frequently, I think when we talk to clients about their intentions, what do you want from your estate plan? That's like a loaded question. It's really hard for them to know that and for them to be really firm in it too, because it feels like if they're going through all this work, they want it to be right.
Absolutely. And things change all the time with families. You know, if you're older and if you have kids that get married and, you know, you're worried about, well, what happens if I die and the money goes to them and they get divorced?
Yeah.
You know, like I want that to go to my own daughter or my own son, and I don't want that to be subject in that particular case. And how do I accomplish that? And I think that that's where things get complicated, but a lot of people don't think through every scenario. And there's a lot of wrenches that life can throw at you that will disrupt an estate plan. But having basics of beneficiary designations in place and basics of, you know, wills, power of attorneys, healthcare directives, very few people actually have that in place. In fact, you should Google how many people actually have an estate plan. I would be curious to know.
I actually know this answer.
Oh, perfect.
I came prepared.
Let me turn my chair back.
Look this way, Colin,
yes,
because I came prepared here. So only 32% of Americans have a will or estate plan, according to a 2024 survey by Caring.com. that's backed up by Investopedia.
Wow.
So 32% of Americans have a will or estate plan. Tori, without consulting the Google machine, over the next 20-ish years, what amount of money do you think is going to be passed on to beneficiaries?
Ooh.
Is expected to be passed on to beneficiaries?
A lot.
A lot. Great guess.
And I would say, wait, did you say a time frame?
20 years.
Okay.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
That is a long time.
it is.
I'm gonna say $10 billion.
$10 billion. Colin.
I'm going to go 2 trillion.
Okay, you ready? 124 trillion.
That is more.
I have no concept of like how much money is in the world.
That's true. It's hard to imagine this, but Colin, you get points for closest without going over.
I at least started with the right letter.
Yes, your letter started with a T.
Yeah,
but it's true. This is what we've been hearing about for a while. Is like this great wealth transfer event, and that number with the T keeps increasing because the market keeps going up, and at some point, the market will go down, and that number will decrease. And that does include high net worth individuals and ultra high net worth individuals, et cetera. But it is a lot of money, which means if you have $124 trillion, let's just assume that that's what's going to be passing on in the next 20 years. And without loading that all at the top and just spreading it evenly across the board, we're saying that 32% of that is well-intentioned in how it will be passed on to the beneficiaries.
You want to know what just struck me? We always talk about AI replacing jobs, right? And
yeah.
We talk about that with anything, but legal is one of the things that we talk about in attorneys.
Yeah.
The amount of probate cases that are going to occur over the next 20 years.
Oh my God.
Is going to be outrageous. And that makes me think how secure they are in their jobs.
Yeah. I mean, that part of it it's true, right? You're not going to have, well, at some point you'll probably have like an AI magistrate and like lawyers and everything, like bots that arguing on your behalf. But
a robot sits down as the judge.
Yeah. Whenever there's money at stake, people are willing to like put themselves into the mix, right? And figure these things out. So if there's $124 trillion that's going to change hands over the next 20 years, Tori, where is the first stop? Who gets that money?
The people.
The people.
The beneficiaries.
The beneficiaries. Who's usually the first beneficiary?
The woman.
The woman. She knew this one.
This is because at Future Proof, this is the most interesting conversation I listened to.
Yes.
Was this wealth transfer, so I should have probably known the numbers better. But
Wait,
and
I
how
don't know
like
this.
80% of this wealth transfer is going to be to women. Something like that.
Yeah. And actually about 30 trillion of that 124 trillion is expected to be passed on to the wives, the women, over the next 5 years. So that's not fast forwarding out 20 years. That's 5 years. And frequently women find themselves in a situation, mansplaining, sorry, where they are not prepared for that because they haven't been prepared for that by the people in their lives. So guilty as charged. I am both a husband and a financial advisor who has not been treating my wife like the valued client that she is. Now, I think personally we do a good job of, speaking to both partners and making sure everybody understands things. But this is a big problem because it doesn't happen very often. And we frequently run into new clients who've had their money with some old advisor who they trusted and were very loyal to, but wasn't doing right by them and wasn't treating them with respect.
Yeah, I had that yesterday. We took in, a client and same advisor for a long, long time with the family, and it doesn't look so great. But with that being said, Kaylee, is great in terms of like being a good saver. And I've told her many times, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, here's what you do.
Right.
But to get her interested is tough. And I don't know if Jess is the same way, and I wonder if this is the case with most families. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, look, just call Wheeler.
My God.
I am always available.
Yes.
However, I don't know. I mean, Tori, you get to speak for all the women in the world right now.
Okay.
Do you find money interesting?
No, not particularly interesting. I mean, what it can get you is interesting, but I don't think like the actual. It's a hard conversation to have. Like I feel coming from a more emotional side of being like, oh, when you die, here's this money. It's like that's not what you're gonna care about
Yeah.
when that
Right.
happens, and it's kind of like okay, cool, but I don't. Yeah, like let's maybe I'll deal with this when it comes to that point because I'll be dealing with a lot of other things.
Fair.
This is
Yeah.
it's an interesting concept because I do think that men typically get to be a little bit more obsessed with money. They're like they feel like it means I think it means more in a lot of ways, whereas maybe sometimes you can think about money and having its own meaning, or you think about it, as Tori just said, as creating opportunity for things that you really care about. Right. So if you it's different to care about the money than to care about what the money gets you.
I just had a thought, and I hope this isn't sexist.
It probably is.
It probably is. Okay.
We're not doing great.
No, but that's okay. So I'll say, and like Kayla and I always talk about this, when we have kids, she wants to be a stay-at-home mom because she's like, I want to be the person that takes care of the kids. I want to do the errands. I want to cook. Like I want to do all these things. Like I have this idea in my head of what, it means to be a mother. And I want all those things for her. If she was to die before me,
Oh yeah.
I would be super stressed out about the cooking and the bringing the kids around and being at the, schools at the right time and managing that whole area of the kids and the family life. And I wonder if it would be that's the same mentality. Like, I wouldn't really want to think about that because I wouldn't want to think about life when she's gone in that regard and that level of responsibility and things that are happening in the same way that she probably is thinking about the finances.
It's like the weight you carry, like the weight you carry versus the weight I carry is very different. Like it's more so like, oh, making sure everyone's okay when that happens, not like where this money is going to go, where your weight is like, I hope everyone is provided for when I leave.
Totally.
Financially wise.
And it's a different way of providing.
Yes, exactly. And they're both very important, but it's like...
Extremely.
Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of... And obviously that's not everyone, but I think that's the more emotional based approach to when someone's passing is like not about making sure you're provided for financially. It's more so like, let me make sure I'm okay and my family's okay. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a deep thought.
It's interesting because it suggests gender norms. Like it's like, here are the roles that people fall into.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know, I'm not here to say that's one way or the other. I'm just saying that that's the way that you two just said this.
Yeah.
Suggests it. And it's also true in my house where if something happened to Jess, like the amount of weight that she carries regarding our daughter and like the daily scheduling, like I like to pat myself on the back for being a very involved father, and I am.
You are.
But like, congratulations for driving your kid to school and picking her up at the end of the day. Like that's not really like materially impacting my daughter's life. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But everything else that Jess thinks about that I don't think to think about. It's just like with the finances and my communication, right? It's the things that I forget to tell her. It's just I don't think that way.
Yeah.
I had probably one of the most impactful client conversations I've ever had 2 days ago. And it was with a doctor that came in who started a business. And now he has multiple franchises. And he was telling me, and we had like a heart-to-heart about it. In fact, I've been meaning to talk to you about this. This is perfect timing. What he was saying was when he started a business, he never anticipated how much weight mentally he would have to take on about what his employees are doing. What's the profitability of it? Is this new location smart? There's turmoil between like me and my partner and the people that own the franchises or the big, umbrella behind it. And he was saying that it's not that, he didn't respect all the things that his wife did around the house, but he was like, it put it in a different light for me because I'm like carrying this burden 24/7. And then when I get home, I see my wife is carrying that same burden of managing a business in our household. And he goes, it's the first time in my life where sure, I go to work and I bring home money and it's my W-2 job and that's all well and good. But then I get home and I turn off. she always has that way 24/7, in the same way that with a business, I always have that way 24/7. And it's completely changed his mental outlook for his marriage, which I thought was fascinating.
I think that, yeah, anything that provides additional perspective is very valuable. What's tough is if somebody's full-time job is on the home front, and you're right, like you don't get to clock in and out.
It's always going.
And it can feel like there's just a natural comparison. If you come to the office and you bust your ass for 50 hours a week, and then like you go home and Kaylee's like, well, I just spent the last 2 hours cleaning the house. It doesn't mean that she worked more, but she did an activity that could be your activity as well. She's not going to come in here and have that meeting with that client.
No.
Right. But she is doing something that you could share the responsibility in. And that's what makes it sometimes really tough in my mind, is when Jess does something that I could have done as part of her day. And she's working too. So she's not just like a full-time homemaker, but when she does something that I could have done, but I didn't do because I was here at the office doing something that she couldn't have done, it feels like there's an inequality there somehow. Like it's just not balanced. And it's because there's added weight in the activity that was done, I think.
That's fair. Because if you can both do the same job, then one person might feel guilty about not doing that job.
Right. Right. Like just yesterday, she had a workshop with 50 people who attended, right? And it was the burnout prevention stuff that she came in and talked to us about on the podcast. I can't do that. And if she did that for 8 hours a day yesterday, and I was there cooking and cleaning and, bringing Michaela back and forth to school or whatever, like I can't say, well, I could have done what you did today, right? But
right.
I could say, I'm the only one that brings Michaela back and forth to school, which is not true. But I could say that in that situation, and it would feel unfair.
It would.
I feel like that's so literal. Like it's such about fairness, and that's not what it's actually about. Like you bringing Michaela back and forth to school, and like all those things aren't responsibilities you need to like divvy up to feel like you're equal.
See, I think I appreciate that perspective. And I think that we are too often worried about things that are fair or one of my phrases I hate is I deserve this. Like the word deserve bothers me a lot because like we are not entitled to
anything
very much in our lives. But when it comes to the situation that we started this conversation with, which was not the chess stuff, but the estate planning stuff, my friend feels an obligation that's driven by fairness. I don't know actually if she had an intention or a conversation with her father-in-law about his intentions, stepfather, about his intentions for his children and whether he wanted them to have the money or not. I actually don't know. I think there was supposed to be a trust that was going to divvy this all up and the trust would say all that. And so she probably is aware of this, but she's trying to do what she thinks is right. And what's right is fair in her mind. Her mind is, this is right because it's fair. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but it is her number one driver in that situation.
Yeah, but I think that's different because you're talking about money.
Okay.
And splitting it up evenly.
So is that...
Like in a household or like in a relationship, a partnership, it's like everyone brings what they need to the table to make it work. When you're talking about $1 million, how is it like you have to even that up because it's a number?
But if I make $1 million here because Jess and I work as a team, right, then it's still...
But no one's working for this inheritance.
Well, says you. I've seen a lot of people work for inheritance before.
Well, it's someone passing it down.
Yeah.
That everyone has a relationship or however you want to look at it with this person. Maybe it's not the same relationship, but in that, I think how you can maybe divvy up the fairness of, oh, well, you helped take care of this person or you did this. I mean, I don't know if that's like going to be written out in an estate plan, but I think when it comes to a number, it's way different talking about fairness.
But I think if I'm just to take a back step, everything we've been talking about is very like emotional.
Yeah, this whole conversation is atomic, like
which I love, by the way. I think not knowing anything about your friend, probably what she's feeling is what you were saying, the emotional burden that her dad was carrying about the security he wanted to provide.
Mm-hmm.
And in her mind, he probably wanted to provide that security to everyone.
Yeah.
And if it was me and if I passed away and if I had, like multiple kids and maybe, different marriages or whatever it might be, like I would want all my kids to be taken care of. And maybe that's what she's trying to translate is that level of security that he had a burden for, that he wanted to pass down to the kids.
So like being taken care of would be like a different number for certain people?
Not necessarily a certain number, but if some people weren't taken care of and other people weren't, maybe that's how she's interpreting it.
Yeah.
But it could be a different number because we do have some clients who have special needs kids, for example.
Definitely.
They have to be very specific with how much and when and why.
Yeah.
Right? And I've seen this firsthand in my mom's family where there were 5 siblings and one person was put in charge of the entire inheritance. And they did this in a way, this is before I was an advisor, where they said, we're going to get it all out of the estate. We're going to give it all to the eldest daughter. She's responsible. She's in charge. She's going to take care of everybody and do what's right.
Oh, God.
But everybody's definition of...
Anyone who's listening, don't do that.
Yeah, please don't do this.
That's a lot of responsibility and a lot of... It's unfair to the person that gets that.
It's unfair to the person who gets it, and it was unfair to everybody else because then it was a conversation about what's fair. Oh, well, you went to visit mom every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or,
which is just what we talked about. Like, it's hard to...
You leave everything open to interpretation.
You can't, decipher fairness based on, like, actions,
right.
Right.
Or... you are a mess. You haven't had a steady job, and I'm not going to reward you. Like you need to figure yourself out, and then I'll give you money.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like, who are you to say that?
No, I totally agree. That's the thing is that the situation that unfolded was that everybody felt that they weren't getting their fair share, and my aunt was doling money out as she saw fit. And that was not necessarily the intentions of her parents when they passed away.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah. And there are so many different ways that all of this wealth transfer can go wrong. And a lot of it is very emotional. And money is, as we always talk about, so emotional.
Yeah. Well, this question gets asked before most of our meetings, pretty much every single client meeting, which is, do you have any changes to your beneficiary designations?
Yeah.
And then we show it to the clients. We ask that question so quickly, but to our point today, like it's extremely emotional because you're thinking about, like, I know me personally, I feel a huge responsibility to take care of Kaylee and future family. When I go, I want to make sure that everything is squared away. And if it wasn't, I would roll over in my grave. And to just like ask that question is like a huge emotional thing that I think we just go through really quickly at times.
Sometimes I think, and maybe this is counterintuitive to what we're talking about today, but I know because we've done our estate plan and my beneficiaries are all set that like that part is done. Mm-hmm. It's the regular conversation that I'm swinging and missing on. I'm not even swinging. I'm just like my bat is on the shoulders and I'm just not even paying attention.
You're playing chess on Duolingo in the batting cage.
And there's birds flying around. I'm distracted by them. So like communicating about how everything's supposed to flow, but also about like the choices that are made along the way. Like, hey, hon, I'm not going to contribute to my 401k this year. What do you think about that? That's a good conversation.
For the record, Jess didn't know that you didn't contribute to your retirement account until the newsletter came out a day ago.
Strike the record. I don't know if we want to communicate that.
Oh my God. I'm mad.
See? Exactly. I'll let Jess determine if she wants this kept in here because that's it's a hot topic right now.
But that's real. That's like a lot of
real.
people's realities. They do not like do not talk about or deal with finance, even though they are gonna be given all of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, certain things like that might impact them later on down the road, and they're gonna have no idea why, no idea how that happened.
Right.
And just even the knowledge of understanding it.
I mean, we've had clients, I've had clients who, when the husband passed away and the wife inherited money, she thought they had a lot more than they did. Mm-hmm. And it was like an immediate lifestyle change that was a huge disruption. That's tough too, you know. And if you don't have those conversations, they're tough. But to your point, to have it written down on paper is one thing, but to actually have the conversation is another thing entirely.
Well, it's true. Also, if my friend had been a client of the advisors, the situation would have been avoided as well, right? Mm-hmm. And that, for whatever reason, wasn't the case. But when we work with multi-generational families, that helps increase the communication. And the communication is just, it's so important. And to your point earlier, you know, when you have people with all their assets all spread out, maybe there are those people that like to say, well, I don't want all my eggs in one basket, for example. And they'll just say, or they want to have like FDIC insurance for X dollars at this place versus that place, or whatever it might be. They have their reasons. They have valid reasons for whatever it is they're doing a lot of the time, except for all those like lost 401ks that the government started a website to help you find because people are losing their phone. Have you heard about this?
No.
There's a new website. You don't trust the government, I understand. But there's a new website that is like helping people find. God, there was something in Massachusetts before, findyourmoney.com.
Well, there's also the unclaimed property report.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is actually like more of a 401k user-friendly 401k specific situation. Because as we know, sometimes a 401k company, if it's an old employer and you're not paying attention to it, they'll kick your assets out to an IRA, sometimes at a completely different institution. And then you don't even know that your account is with somebody else. Or we've had this with student loans before, where people will have their student loan with one institution, and then they'll log in one day and they'll see a zero balance, right? And they say, well, a miracle, but really it's just the debt was sold to
somebody else who's now going to start calling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that happened to me? I called my whole family. And I was like,
Did you call your family?
Yeah, I was like, who paid my student loans off? They're gone. My brother was like, if Papa paid for this, like, he was like, I'm gonna be so upset.
Wait.
I was like, as if my 90-year-old Papa would know how to go into my federal student loans and pay them off. Yeah. No, they got sold to Aidvantage, of course.
Right.
But I had to call. I was like, where did they go? No one told me.
Yeah.
Where they were going.
Talk about communication.
No one told me where they were going. The government did not tell me.
Did you have a number one suspect, like, for who paid off your loans?
Well, no, but the only person it could have been would be like
your grandfather.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You just gotta go there. But I called my brother because I was like, could it have been him? But obviously no.
That's hilarious. It's funny because when this happened in my family, I didn't think anybody had paid it off. I thought it was like hopefully a clerical error or something. Like,
oh, they lost the paperwork.
Which family member?
Full. Yeah. So I was like, so someone paid it.
Right.
So
that was, I remember that.
It says paid in full. And I was like, I don't have to worry about this. I haven't even started paying them yet. Perfect.
I think it was Biden. Biden paid off my student loans.
Yeah, I did kind of go there. I'm like, well, someone paid them.
The copy of the check, Biden.
And then I was like, was it some random person like looking for like some charity, you know, like just paying people's student loans off?
Yeah. That's actually a great idea. I'm just going to buy
like,
all of Aidvantage's debt.
Yeah.
How much debt is there at Aidvantage?
Do you want me to look it up?
Yes, please look up how much.
Hold on, I need to send this 401k thing to my sister.
Hey, you know how you keep changing jobs? She asked me where
her 401k was held. I was like, I have no idea. Like she thought like it was all on one thing.
I'm glad that this has been relevant for you and your family.
Have you ever had this conversation where somebody's like, I don't know where my 401k is. Can you help me find it?
Yeah.
It is shocking that people like it.
I'm like, where were you a year ago?
Well,
No, because it
At this time,
automatically gets
that's
set
Not
up for
as
some
easy as
people.
that. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does on, especially when you're early on in your
Yeah.
career. You'll auto enroll into a 401k, and then that 401k provider can change, and then you don't even like when Jess was working at Strawberry Bank, their provider changed,
Oh yeah.
right? And that happens, and then we had to like get set up with a new provider and all these things.
I
Right?
remember one of my first meetings as a financial advisor. I met this woman at God, where was it? It was a 5K.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Were you working a booth?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was working a booth with a sign, come over here. And the woman came into the office and, well, first off, I had 6 people schedule an appointment with me. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. I'm killing it. All of them no-showed on me. And I'm just sitting in the office by myself, just drinking coffee at like 6 o'clock at night. Everybody blew me off. But the 7th woman came in. And she had 6 old 401ks, all with like $1,200 in them.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like maybe your age, but she had changed jobs so many times that she had 6 old 401ks out there with $1,200, and it was a mess.
Wow.
She didn't end up becoming a client, for the record. But anyway,
If I worked at 5K, my strategy would be to run in the 5K and talk to people while I'm running. Like,
Yeah.
so
It's a good. That's
Who's
a
your
good,
financial
have you seen those memes where like
demographic.
they're
It
chasing
is a good
people and they're like,
demographic.
I need to talk to you about my Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
And they're like chasing him down the street. Have you seen those?
no.
Okay, you'll start getting them now. But anyway,
We have a 5K
That's
that
you.
actually runs past our house once a year. And I'll tell you, Tori, it's not just one demographic. It's
Yeah.
all the demographics.
No, I know, but like it's good.
It's a good
It's a good-
audience.
yes,
to-
exactly.
you think it's good. It's just,
All right,
I
what-
wouldn't
what-
wish that on
What did the
anyone.
Google machine tell you?
It's $500 billion.
So they service one half of $1 trillion of student loans.
So they're basically a debt collector.
What I don't understand for student loans is like I took mine out through the government.
Right.
So why am I not paying it back on that website?
Because the government doesn't
Sold
live-
them. Did they sell everyone's?
No. They don't have an interface for you to like.
I still have to go onto their interface to see how much I owe for my minimum payment.
That's just a bad system.
I know.
But all these servicing companies will they'll service and then they'll try to get you to refinance, and that's where they will make their money is by getting you to refinance.
So
for a lower
that happens
payment.
to everyone.
Blah blah blah. Yeah.
I have 2 big takeaways today.
Yes.
One, I want to start a lottery where
Okay.
people will buy tickets and their student loans will get paid off.
By
Oh, I
whom?
love that.
By the
Me.
lottery?
By the lottery.
I will buy that.
Exactly. Think about the amount of tickets
Wait,
that you
You'll
get.
get
Wait,
so many.
wait. Sorry. We're basically instead of a
makes sense. I want
jackpot,
in.
you.
I want part of this.
We're gonna start
Yeah.
a business plan after this.
Yeah.
Is this
Are
a
you in?
business plan? Are you taking a cut of the lottery?
Well, no. The way that it works
No,
is
this
just
is for
like
the people.
it's
Just for the people.
Maybe we're a for-profit.
We're
Tori.
so what you're essentially doing.
So
we're-
what
we're-
happens? I'll explain it.
Okay.
This is gonna be the system. I'm copywriting this, by the way.
Can you
So-
verbally copyright something on
We
a
might have
podcast?
to.
That's
cut this out if
technically a
it's too
legal
good.
contract.
If
This
it's
is
too-
this
If
might
it's
be
too good,
too
we're
good.
cutting this out.
You get a lottery system.
Okay.
Everybody buys a ticket. We'll say for $1, and
For $1.
everybody buys tickets.
How many people are buying the ticket?
Well, it's nationwide.
Everyone with student loans.
It's
basically.
nationwide. Yeah, it's nationwide.
You can get them
So
online.
yes, and this is coming together quite nicely. Everybody's going to buy a ticket.
Yep.
Let's just say that we get $100,000 in ticket sales,
Okay.
which I think is conservative. But someone wins and they only have $40,000 of student loans.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. We pay the student loans $60,000 of profit.
Wait.
Yeah, but what if people have more than $100,000?
Well, then we
Well,
keep playing.
Then you
We
keep
keep playing.
Eventually,
Okay, so we
eventually
don't
it's
tell
going
the
to catch
people
up.
the number.
There's a startup cost.
It's not like the
we just pay
Powerball.
off. Well, we just pay off the student
Okay,
loans.
okay.
Well,
You
okay.
know?
Wait, hold on. First of all, if you're calling them ticket sales, then you're selling them, and it's not a raffle. So, are you
Lottery.
actually
Lottery.
so a lottery?
But I
Sorry.
thought-
Okay, raffle drawing. It's
Ra-
like how
okay.
people always give away a Ferrari
Right.
in like a trunk full of cash. I don't know
like
if
they
you guys
probably
get
have
that.
this.
But you're crowdsourcing paying back student loans essentially, and
Exactly.
it's luck of the draw whose loan gets paid off.
And if it gets big enough, you can have drawings every day,
All right,
or
well-
you can have. I'll do the math later.
all right,
But
I
anyway.
think you should tweak it though. I don't feel like if Tori has $60,000 in student loans and it's $100,000 jackpot, I think she gets a 60. pays off the student loan, the remaining 40 stays in the pot.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
and
my
it
point.
builds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll collect the
Builds.
interest from it.
All
We
right.
have to keep the lights on.
So what we're talking about is socialism, right? It's
In
basically
student loans specifically.
Student
No.
loan socialism.
But you can
It's
choose to
raffle.
contribute. That's the difference.
It's also yes, it's a choice, and it is also spreading. It's everybody has a chance. Your chance is capped at you have to show a receipt, like show a statement.
I don't know legally what we have to show or
Okay.
don't. Yeah.
And then anybody gets to participate,
Mm-hmm.
but there are no guarantees
It's a raffle.
because it's a raffle. So I mean, obviously, I'm just saying you have to
Yeah,
say
no, I
everything in
know.
finance with no
You
guarantees.
do.
And blah
You
blah
do.
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then
And maybe we'll give them
okay,
a few $1,000s as well, depending on how big the pool is.
what if this? I'm not as against this idea as I thought I was going to be. But what
Okay.
if?
No, it's good.
What
Thank you.
if somebody buys a lottery ticket every day, and they spend so much money buying lottery tickets that they never pay off their student loans?
That's their fault.
But
It's just like the
But you're-
Powerball.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but
I
they,
can't-
gave $7 to the Powerball the other day.
okay, but they could also have. I mean, the odds that you will actually win this lottery will not be in your favor. And meantime, you have not been putting that money that you could have put toward your student loans. You've been putting it into the lottery, so now you're not paying your student
You
loans.
have to
But
put your
that's-
mindset. You have to put
That's on
yourself in
them.
the mindset of someone that buys a lottery ticket.
yes.
Yeah, that's not
That's
a good.
on
That's a
them.
desperate mindset.
It's
Yeah.
not desperate. It's wishful. I
It
dreamed.
is sometimes desperate.
I dreamed all week last week, which JMO and I sat at the air show and we talked for 40 minutes about if we won the Powerball.
I've been seeing this.
You know, and just
You've
that
been
hour.
seeing-
I've been seeing this. People are like, I need to go outside and touch grass because I just envisioned my entire life after winning
Yeah.
the Powerball.
And the thing is
Okay.
that $7 was worth that conversation
Yeah,
to me.
I get
So
that.
for the student loan thing,
Yeah,
is it worth it to pay $1 to potentially pay off 100,000 or whatever the number is?
Yes.
And the odds of you winning are not good. It's not 50-50.
no,
because
it's
a
one
lot
in
of people are
100,000.
yes.
Exactly.
But that's life.
You know?
Yes,
That's
Tori,
life. That's
that
the
is not
Powerball.
Just
fair.
don't go buy a
That's
coffee.
a lottery.
Yeah, don't buy a coffee or don't put
That's
almond
the
milk in your
50-50
coffee.
raffle.
Switch to whole milk one day.
Wait, what? Okay,
To
first
save
of all,
money. this
Exactly.
is going to
Yeah, just
Okay.
don't buy a latte. Make it at home. Blah blah blah.
Don't worry about the latte.
Personal-
Personal finance. Look, I'm just saying that yes, if you buy a $7 lottery ticket once a year, it's a very different journey than the lottery in your situation is a fun conversation to have. There
Mhm.
are people who are desperately hoping the lottery will pay off their debts and change their lives and dig them out of a hole. There's a wide variety of participants that you might have
Yes.
in this.
But it's an
Yes.
at will.
We're
lottery
not
system.
forcing you to contribute. Like
Yeah.
the government's forcing you to pay back the student loans.
Yeah. And yeah.
So that's idea number one.
You're suggesting, though, that at will is always a good thing because sometimes it is a very bad thing. That's where gambling addictions come from. This is a gambling addiction in waiting, lurking beneath the
So-
water.
I never
Are-
said that morally
are-
this is going to be perfect.
Are you? What are you saying?
Yeah.
I say it's a fun
You don't have to
idea.
join our business.
It doesn't sound like a business. There's no profit
business.
generated from this, but I think it's a fun idea. It is altruistic because it's not a real business, but I do think that you would have to navigate it carefully because it would, I guarantee, have some unforeseen consequences that you either didn't anticipate or are not happy with.
Yeah.
That's all.
We'll
Yeah.
cross that bridge when
We'll
it
have
gets
to
there.
talk to the people that run the Powerball.
Yeah. Why don't we talk to
And see how-
compliance first
Yeah.
and see
See
how
how
they feel
they
about
do.
this whole conversation?
Next idea is we need to create an action movie on estate planning.
Estate
Oh my
plan.
God, no.
Yes.
No.
A simple.
I'm not on that one.
Another simple plan.
Another simple plan. And it's all about creating an estate plan that turns into an action thriller.
I
We
guarantee.
could make a fun spin-off of like just us in the office and doing that. It could be funny.
You said you wanted to write
Wait,
a
you
book
actually
this
want to
morning.
film it?
You said you wanted to write a book this morning. I'm handing you gold today in terms of
Oh my
business
God, you-
and books.
You were
Idea
like-
generator.
You're handing me rich dad, poor dad
I am.
gold right now.
I am.
All right. I don't know how we go anywhere from here but home. So
Yes.
let's wrap it.
That's it for this week's episode of Compound Growth. We had a little fun today talking about estate planning, how men and women often handle life after a partner differently, what being fair really means to each of us, and why it's so important to have things lined up ahead of time. Even just making sure you've got beneficiaries on your accounts can take a big weight off of your family down the road. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll be back next week for another episode of Compound Growth.
Compound Growth with Wheeler and Colin, sponsored by Ko-Fi Advisors. Reach out today. Yay!